And we are live. I do believe we are live as this thing on it is. This is the 2024 NBA Fantasy Basketball Draft. Joining in just a skosh late here, but it is El Turtente, your captain, speaking the ultimate sensei here. And I am pick number 4. Let's go see who's already went off the board. So pick 1 went to the good brother Kuzi. He had Nikola Jokic. Good brother Super Fried Snooker picked Victor Wembanyama. So no Mwembe Mania for me this year. Luka Doncic just went 3rd, and then now I am on the board. Banana, banana. All right, who do we like? I see Tyrese Haliburton. He got involved with the WWE a little bit. We got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's a dog. See, I'm looking at SGA. It's tempting. But then you also got Ja Morant that's going to get to play this year. You got Haliburton. But fuck it, I'm taking Shai. It's OKC. At the end of the day, somebody's got to score. Granted, I know the record doesn't always reflect his abilities, but at the same time, I rock it with Shai. So Shai off the board. Just got SGA round 1. That leaves us with a lot of good guys still here. I mean, again, we only got Joker went first. Victor Wembanyama went 2nd. Doncic 3rd. I took Shai. Now we got my good brother Boof on the board. Boof boy. Who's he going to take? Yeah, Jokic was hands down the best choice. I mean, the only other ones I could see there, which, by the way, we got El Presidente, a.k.a. Danathan Daly Jr., the motherfucking 3rd best newscaster all time. Mount Rushmore of newscasters is just 4 heads of him. So let's see who we got here. I know this year in fantasy basketball is going to be just about as fucking wild as it was in fantasy baseball and as wild as it is currently in fantasy football. I mean, there's already so many guys that are hurt, but then again, you got to also look because sometimes they're not necessarily hurt. They're just being left out. They're just being rested because it's preseason. So that's a heads up for a lot of people is don't fall for the INJ. Make sure to take a look at it. There went Giannis Antetokounmpo. I wanted to take Haliburton, but when Shai's still sitting there, I mean, I know he's got good projections this year. I actually think he should be projected a little higher, but see who Riff takes. Thank you to everybody for being tuned in as well. Got another fantasy basketball draft tomorrow. However, I will not be streaming that one. I do only like to stream my leagues. But I do got one more in the chamber to do tomorrow. Big cheers, big pros. Let's go guards, by the way. Don't forget it. I got the game on in the background if you think I'm staring out into space. But I don't think they have thrown that first pitch yet. Let's see what pick Danathan Daly got. Late pick. I love those. I'll take the 4th pick in this situation, but normally I like that bottom of the line, that bottom of the order pick, because then it flip-flops. Got to let Ben 10 know. Get Ben 10 into the draft. Let's see. I have a couple players in mind to build off of. There goes one of them. There goes the other. Fuck my life. There went Jason Tatum and Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson would be a great pick. I wonder what's up with this. Oh, Brunson and Edwards. Oh, my shit glitched. Okay. Let me reopen it. I was like, wait, what? All right, too much silence for a camera. Here we go. Let's get back into it. Let's lock in. There we go. Now it's fixed. And perfect. I just let him know that he's on the clock. Ben Tanorama. Banana, banana. You're up next, Danathan Daly. Oh, there went Sabonis. Muy interesante. Curious to see what Cavs player goes first. Oh, well, definitely Donovan Mitchell, dude. I had to take a look at that. I thought I saw somebody else up there. I was like, wait a minute. But then you still got Kevin Durant. You still got Pascal Siakam, who's a dog, and Embiid's a fantasy dog. In fact, why is he only projected 16th? Interesting. And we got the Spider. He's coming up. Oh, Ben took Anthony Davis. Interesting. That can be a risky pick considering if he steps on his own fucking shoe too long, he's going to fucking break something. Even just getting out of bed. Joel Embiid, great pick. I just mentioned that one. I was like, wait a minute. Surprised he was projected 16th, but Ja gets 9. However, though, I do love me some Ja Morant. And here goes the first pitch in the Guardians game. Yes, I am a Guardians fan and a Yankees fan. And yes, I did considering wearing the Yankees jersey with my Guardians hat. However, I'm not feeling like too much of a rebel like that today. Maybe tomorrow I'll do it. That's my way of promoting world peace, all right? That's how you promote world peace, right there. But the Guardians got to get this one, man. Sheek! Yeah, when it comes to Ja Morant, Danathan, I'm afraid of Morant pointing a gun at somebody tomorrow. Yeah, we're one young boy record away from being too loud, and then he's going to pull the stick out. So you got to be careful if you're going to draft Ja. You play Amigos record too loud, and somebody might get shot. I forget who it was, but they said they started playing somebody's music like that in the club, and he started pulling the gun out, and his homie was like, man, what are you doing? Already a hit in the Guardians game. There goes Haliburton. You're back on the board, Danathan Daly. Who we going with? Who's our guy? Quick to shoot, no Devin Book? Maybe. There's also Cat there, who's in New York now. That's interesting. Cat is a Knick. And what's he going to do when he gets there? Then you got Paolo Banchero. I don't pick for a fucking hot minute. And that's the guys I really got to be paying attention to, though, because I do like where Cat is. I also like that Scotty Barnes can play small forward, shooting guard, and power forward. That's good. Zion Williamson, he's another one I'm going to stay away from because when Zion Williamson loses in weight, he then gains in weight. And that dude is a Mack truck trying to play basketball and run like he's fucking Tyrese Maxey. So I'm going to probably stay away from Zion this year. Even though they do have him as a good projection. I don't know. I've just always kind of looked at Williamson kind of like a bust. Ice Tray. Okay. And you went with the Spider. Good one. Bronny off the board. Ice Tray off the board. Who's going to get Bronny Jr. is the real question. No, I don't even think, honestly, that Bronny Jr. will be fantasy relevant unless a fluke happens. Spider was good last year, was good when healthy. Same with Booker. Yeah, I mean, Spider's a great pick. There just went Booker. That was one of my key players. But I still got some guys in the key. I think I know who my next pick is, though. Especially after looking at my roster, seeing how this is going to go. Oh, I see somebody already threw their shit on auto. That's good, though. At least they're not going to waste a minute and a half. There's one guy, if he falls to me, this is going to get interesting, but I don't know if I'm necessarily going to take him. Definitely some trades that happen in the offseason that are going to make my next pick potentially interesting. All right. Well, I think I know at least one of my next two picks. The other one's kind of up in the air as of right now. I stay away from James Harden. Curry's Curry. You can't really go wrong with him. But I do already have my point guard. It's just I always usually like to go for Curry, and this year I didn't even realize he fell that low. It's not quite what he used to be, though, at the same time as well. Desmond Bane and Chet Holmgren being what they are is crazy. There went De'Aaron Fox. All right. Yeah, and he just took somebody I was looking at, too, Kevin Durant. All right, well, let's make this interesting. The guy who just went to New York. Out went Julius Randle. In came Karl Anthony Towns. And now he's on my team. But now I'm looking at this Banchero, who I drafted him as rookie year. And we made a playoff push that year. However, it just didn't pan out how I wanted it to. Does Paolo return home? Yeah, going with Cat. I can further dive in on that pick as well. I know when that trade first happened, there was that speculation of like, oh yeah, because Cat didn't realize where he was going, and he tweeted that thing where he said, oh, ... But people, I think, mistook that. I don't think it was like oh, fuck, I'm going to, New York. I think he was just kind of like, oh, like he just didn't know it was coming. Like, I don't think he wanted to be caught off guard like that. But, no, I think overall that he's going to be great. Obviously, with no Julius Randle anymore, that takes in that volume. So I think when you get the tandem of Cat and Jalen Brunson, I mean, I think there's a lot of great things to be had there. As mentioned earlier when Jonathan Daly said, Jalen Brunson's somebody to build off of. I would think if you could have got Brunson with him, it would have been insane. So who knows? Maybe I try to make a push for Brunson, even though I don't think I could ever get him. Let's see what the pickleball paddle polishers get. He went with LaMelo Ball, and then he went with Tyrese Maxey. There just went Paolo Banchero. Man, the pick right before me, too. That's cruel. That's real cruel. But then there's Chet Holmgren. There's Julius Randle, who now went to Minnesota. This is interesting. But then again, though, Rudy Gobert's there. So I don't like that. So in that case, 6 seconds. There's DeMar DeRozan. I'm down to 35 seconds. Kyrie Irving, who thinks the earth is flat. Do I want that on my team? Maybe. There's the DeJounte Murray. I'm almost down to 20 seconds. Down to 15 seconds, almost 10 seconds. And at the end of the day, I'm a Curry guy. Curry chicken, come home. At the end of the day, you can always count on Steph Curry to get you points. So there I got a guard and my point guard. My center cat. Okay. I got to get better at this keying up shit because that just came down to the wire. Yeah, I mean, Curry, the volume, the fact that he's going to always throw up shots. Can't really go wrong with that. Think that's a great pick. We just hit another batter. Bases are about to be loaded, if not already. Yep. Bases are officially loaded. Then we got Vujacic at the top. He was ranked 29th on the order. Chet Holmgren, Desmond Bain, DeJounte Murray, Bam Adebayo, Louis Markkinen, Jamal Murray, which is interesting. I think there's a lot of upside to him this year. Jaylen Brown, too. I mean, Jaylen Brown's a dog. Honestly, I think that might even be a great pick. I'm in the middle of a, yeah. I'll be quiet. So, Jalen Green's another great pick who gets close to falling to me. I would probably stay away from Julius Randle, though, unless you do manage to get the, unless you do manage to get Rudy Gobert and him. But I think Rudy Gobert's already been drafted, if I'm not mistaken. Could be, though. Jimmy Butler in Miami's always a dog. Can't go wrong with Jimmy Buckets. I just love seeing where, like, a lot of these people go and how they fall. Like, basketball drafts to me have always been, like, one of my favorites. Baseball's, even though it's the one that I win the most at, oddly enough, I just tend to stay away from it. I don't like to be in too many baseball leagues. Let me just say that. The season's much funner than the draft most of the time. Football, I have a blast doing the draft. I just apparently draft people that are made with paper bones and glass skin. Trying to get the game fired back on. The Guardians already got bases loaded, top of the first. Well, the Yankees do. We're just trying to defend against this bullshit. We got Ben Bagza. Who else just went off the board? Well, after me went James Harden, then went Cade Cunningham, then went Nikola Vujacic, then went Louis Markkinen, and then DeMar DeRozan, and then now we're round 3, pick 10, with Ben Baggerton up on the board. Let's get that game on. Come on. Y'all want to watch live? How to bust out the hot pink Stanley. You know what it is and what it ain't. I think I know who I want to get next, but he's really got to fall, and that is what I don't necessarily have the highest faith in. Closed out the inning, though, 0-0. We'll take that. Good shit, guards. There just went Kyrie Irving. Hey, mama, the earth is flat. Now we got Jonathan Daly up on the board. A.K.A. El Presidente. Curious to see where you go here. I'm going to also look at your team while I'm doing this. Like, as you're drafting them. Emo Hemi. You had Emo Hemi last year. So you got the Spider and Embiid. Let's see how this goes. Well, I didn't even see who was it. You took Chet Holmgren and then went Dame and Desmond. Dame and Desmond Bain. Yeah, see, Jimmy Butler goes off, though, in the playoffs. possibly playoff Himmy goes off during the regular season because he wants a contract extension. That makes that interesting. But then there's also Jaylen Brown sitting right there. Hard to go wrong with that. He was the finals MVP? I didn't even know Jaylen Brown was the finals MVP. Shouldn't say that when you're on the clock. Yeah, then we got Jimmy Butler there. Give me 1 second. Uno minuto, no segunda. Hey, can you guys stop arguing, please? All right. So, who'd I miss? DeJounte Murray. Yeah, went Jalen Williams after Bam Adebayo. After Jalen Williams went DeJounte. I'm nearing here. I'm getting close. Let's see who the good brother Rod takes. A fantasy vet. You got Chet and Bam now. Good shit. Let me go back to my team. Shy Cat and Curry. Do I want to experiment and do the Randall Gobert thing? Maybe. I mean, not bad relying on big men, honestly, with the blocks. All the rebounds. Especially all the rebounds. Let's see what we got here. Evan Mobley, if I want to go with the Cleveland boy. That's who I was going to get. I wanted Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown off the board. But do I get the other Jalen? Jalen Green. Houston sucks, but somebody's got to score, right? Could be. Let's see. So you're thinking of Rudy and Jalen with the last pick. There just went Julius Randle, so there goes that experiment because I'm not drafting the other one if I can't get the one. Paul George and Philly, not a fan. Simons, Cameron Thomas, and Brooklyn projected 54. Yeah. Ooh, Cam Thomas. Oh, that's ugly. There went Evan Mobley. Or no, Evan Mobley would be my pick. So who'd I lose out on? Jamal Murray and Jimmy Butler. I was going to go with him too. Jalen Green. He's too up and down. Too up and down for me. Can't do that. I don't like that shit when people go up and down. And fuck Kyle Kuzma. I can't believe Cam Thomas is 54. I might have to stop paying attention to these projections. We got a healthy Evan Mobley, but we also got a Kobe White, but I already got 2 point guards. Well, going with the Cleveland boy, Evan Mobley. Let's run it. Welcome aboard. There went Rudy Gobert. Did I read that correctly? Yep, there went Jalen Green and then Rudy Gobert. All right, so I got my point guard, I got my power forward, I got a center, I got another guard. Both of my center and my power forward can play both positions. I like that. That's always a good thing. Every time I see Cam Thomas projected 54, I actually get, I don't know if it's coming off visibly, but I actually get irritated by seeing it. Like, I want to know who at ESPN was like, Cam Thomas, 54th. Because, I don't even know if he'd be 94th. I'm dead ass serious. I really don't. I mean, Maybe he's going to get more time this year. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, he gets the minutes. I mean, he kind of knows what to do with them, but he's another one who's up and down. The number one, after the Miguel Bridges trade. I did forget about the Bridges trade. That's my bad. But he will get hot for a week and fizzle out. I stand by that. So he will see increased shot output for sure, and obviously steady, heavy minutes. But the thing is he just doesn't know what to do with them, which goes to what Jonathan Daly just said. He'll get hot and then fizzle out. Simons is kind of like that. You got Emmanuel Quickly. I don't think he should be projected where he's at. They got Zach LaVine projected lower than him. That's crazy to me. And speaking of Zach LaVine, when healthy, he had a foot surgery in February. He's a risk. There's MPJ. I don't know how sold I am on that. You know what? I'm going to roll the dice. It's a foot injury, but wait a minute. Oh, Mikal Bridges? No, fuck you. Fuck him. I'm not drafting him. I forgot about that. I almost fell for it. I'd rather roll the dice and do this. Zach LaVine, welcome to the team. I looked at him and I saw let me read Mikal Bridges' numbers as to what pisses me off when I look at him. All right, Mikal Bridges, blah, 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 is a New York Knick. He's going to play with Cat. See what he does. With the 36 minutes, he gives you 30 points. 31 minutes, 16 points. Then he gets 24 minutes, 23 minutes, 24 minutes, 25 minutes, in which he consistently got worse. So on that note, fuck you, Mikal Bridges. Nah, they want to feed Cat. You got a lot of other hands in there getting the ball, seeing the ball more. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I'd rather take Cam Thomas any day over Mikal Bridges. You still fuck with him? Mikal Bridges. I'm not a fan. I'm not sold. Not big on him by any means. Here's where I get to just watch a bunch of people go that I have no chance at getting because I know they'll never fall. Bradley Beal. Daniel Gafford. Some of these names are mind-blowing where they're ranked. Colin Sexton in Utah? AK, I'll play 2 games in a week and then sit out the next 4. Nurkic, that's ugly. Do I go with Zach 80 as a utility? Maybe. I could do that. Because right now I at least got one of every position in some format. Could use another shooting guard or a small forward, though. Either way, going to need another forward at some point, whether it be a power forward or a small forward. I see rookies are nearing, which is what I like. I like seeing that. Kawhi Leonard, I'm never drafting that. I ain't drafting Klay Thompson either. There went Franz Wagner. Jonathan Daly with the Franz Wagner pick. On the clock again after Van Fleet and Miles Turner. He gets Cleveland's own Darius Garland. Then MPJ right off the board. Jared Allen off the board. Beal, Gafford. Projections are kind of almost all over the place here. There's Zach Edey, who I think is going to be a dog. I don't want to count any chickens, but that might be one of the next 2 picks for me. So I got Chicago, OKC, New York, Cleveland, and Golden State. So I definitely would like to keep mixing it up and get people from different teams if I can. Malcolm Brogdon's in Washington. I'm going to stay away from Matthew Brogdon. Amen Thompson. I'm going to stay away from the Thompsons. I ain't going to keep up with the Thompsons this year. I do know one of my next 2 picks for sure. It's just got to fall. Tobias Harris is in Detroit now. That gets interesting. Signing with the rebuilding Pistons. I don't know if I want to get a guy on a team and rebuild now after reading that. Because I didn't realize they drafted people at his position, or I was about to say Tobias Harris would have been a massive sleeper. I mean, that would have been absolutely incredible if I'm reading that correctly. Then you got Kawhi down here, though, still hurt. Or is he just sitting out? No, he's just sitting out. I don't know. I'm good on Kawhi. Not enough greatness from the minutes and the times that he actually does play. That's the way I view him. Then you got a lot of different guys though. Here you got Bradley Beal in Phoenix, but then you also got Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, so I don't know what that does too much. In Boston, you do got this Derek White situation. Kawhi out indefinitely, knee inflammation. I didn't even see that. Everybody stay away from Kawhi. If he's got knee inflammation, stay the fuck away from him. Let me just get him, make sure I have him. That's calling it right now, and I'm going to have this video saved. Hearing it right now. Zach Edey will be the rookie of the year. And I always like to go with at least one rookie every year, and I'm on the Edey train. That kid is insane. In fact, on his thing, it even says that he's a front runner for rookie of the year. If he plays as to how, who knows, I might have just drafted a huge giant bust. But that is the love of the game. That's why we play it, baby. That still leaves me with 2 utilities. A power forward, a small forward. Possibly a shooting guard. And then, of course, we got our 3 bench slots. Let's see where we go with this. So now I got Memphis, Golden State, New York, Cleveland, Chicago, OKC. Jalen Duren right off the board. I can't even believe Josh Giddey's on here, but that's a thing in life. Tyler Herro. So he's generally pretty good. It's based on what I'm reading, at least. What else we got here? We got RJ Barrett sitting here. Podol, Bogdanovich, Klay Thompson, DeAndre Ayton, Keegan Murray, Sacramento, who's wishy-washy. Yeah, it's not really like a great crop. Not really a great crop of rookies this year. Zach Edey stands out as somebody. That's why I feel like he's the only one that's actually projected high that I could see. Well, let's see. On the board. You know what? Sometimes consistency's key. Give me Tyler Herro. Granted, there's the upside that maybe he finally booms and gets a little better. There's also the chance that he busts and gets a little worse. However, though, I like Harrow. We're rolling with Harrow. So there I got a Chicago shooting guard, small forward. Still need to get another small forward or a power forward, probably a small forward. Complete this team out. Amen Thompson's projected a little higher than I definitely would have thought he would be. Then you got Bojan Bogdanovic, who randomly will do great, or he'll do great and then randomly just drop a dud on you. A big cheers, big Frost. As I wait for my next pick, tomorrow we do have Sleepless Radio episode 218. 1-1 losers bracket showdown. Queen versus the Eagles. I'll be representing Queen. El Padrino will be representing the Eagles. Looking forward to that. Get your votes in on the polls. Let me know on Twitter. Let me know on Reddit who you guys think is going to win. There goes Colin Sexton. Let's hope he don't get called Sexton. Then we got Buddy Hield, shooting guard and small forward for the Golden State Warriors. Wishy-washy. We don't like wishy-washy. Jamie Jacquees Jr., wishy-washy. Trace Jackson Davis. Not a bad pick. Kind of a sleeper, but then he'll go 11 and then get 48 points. Russell Westbrook. No, I'm going to stay away from him. They're thinking this is when my pick's going to be. I disagree. OG Anunoby in New York. He didn't do too hot once he got to New York. We're going to have to take him out the key. Jonathan Daly on board. Gafford was the last pick. So that still leaves us with a small forward and a power forward. That's what I'm targeting for. Draymond Green, you will never see the light of day on my team. I don't care what it would take. I would never draft you. Absolutely never, ever. Cameron Johnson, no. Staying away. Could go with the rookie in Portland and go with Donovan Clingan. But I already got my center and my power forward. I just need one more of those. Kelly Oubre Jr. Maybe. What do they got him? Exceeded expectations during his one-year deal with the Sixers. While he started the season as a reserve, he earned a spot in the starting lineup, playing in most of the games. With his ability to contribute, he would be a valuable asset for your fantasy team late in drafts. I like the sound of Kelly Oubre Jr. Josh Giddey off the board. Somebody was feeling a little over Giddey. You took Kawhi. Even with the knee inflammation, you're going to risk it, and you took Kawhi Leonard. Who knows? Could have been a steal for you. But then went Austin Reeves and Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's another fucking dude I'd never draft no matter what it came down to. Some good high picks up here, though, still. There is Josh Hart in New York. That's interesting. Despite the loaded roster, projected to play around 32 minutes. He is a good rebounder. I would have him then playing with Anthony Towns, which necessarily wouldn't be a bad thing because this would be the first time. And you went with an old reliable Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon's definitely an old reliable. He's like Mr. Consistency. He's like Tyler Harrow. He ain't going to go crazy and boom like he put over projections of his last season, but he necessarily won't go under it either. That Tobias Harris situation in Detroit is interesting, but I'm not going to play with it. I just think that it's too risky considering they draft two people with the same position as him. That smells like rebuild and just kind of go out there and keep the lights on if you can. Then you got Keegan Murray, though. also good. Just sometimes a little, again, too wishy-washy for me. Not a fan of that. So far, I got guys on a bunch of different teams too, so I can sacrifice one of my picks to double stack a team and handcuff them, which I think that's what I'm going to do. I think if it falls, I'm going to go with Josh Hart, at least for this next pick, and then I'll figure out where I'm going from there. There went Klay Thompson. Interesting, because he's a Dallas Maverick now, no longer Golden State. Thank you, everybody, for being tuned into the draft as well. Let me know what your draft results are for your drafts in my comment section or on my Reddit wall or on my Twitter page. Hit me up. That Jacquizz Jr. is tempting, but then it's just way too inconsistent, man. Reed Sheppard. Personally, I think Reed Sheppard's going to be a bum. Maybe somebody to pick up off of waivers or something like towards the end of the season, but yeah, it is crazy seeing Klay Thompson as a Maverick, man. All right, here we go. We got handcuff him, going with Josh Hart. That gets my small forward. There goes my handcuff with New York. Now I just need one power forward, and then we're rocking with a utility. And bench guys. Drafts definitely get tough down the stretch here. I don't know if I bite on another rookie. I don't think I do. What do we got here? Jeremy Grant. Grant is coming off another solid season, averaging 21 points per game along the way. The biggest concern in fantasy basketball is his durability. He missed 100 games during his past 4 seasons. It'll be interesting to see if he's still with the Blazers after the trade deadline, as his name came up in so many trade rumors. If you're willing to take on the injury risk, Grant is worth targeting late because he can really fill up a stat sheet. And it looks like he's been doing okay in the preseason that he's done. Maybe worth a look. Last pick went to Tobias Harris. Superfried Snook is going to run the experiment. Grayson. Nah. There's too many hands that need fed in Phoenix that I just don't know if I can go with that. Then you got Tyus Jones sitting there too. It's like, oh man. Then you got Jabari Smith. The number 3 overall pick in 2022 has steadily improved as a shooter and defenders in his first 2 seasons in the league. You like seeing that. Naz Reid is projected higher than I think he should be. You could always draft Draymond Green until he punches somebody in the fucking mouth and misses 2 weeks. There is the rookie Steven Castle in San Antonio that's interesting. He's a versatile guard out of UConn, known for his size, strength, and defense. Castle will likely start his career on the bench, but could earn a starting role sooner than expected. His offensive skills make him a great flyer. Final pick in the draft, his ability to... Well, it's me on the board right here. I'm going to go with Jabari Smith Jr. I'm going to go with the Houston Rocket, keep it mixed up with different teams. So there's my extra forward, and all 3 of my power forwards also play center as well. So now maybe I get a center that's just a center to close out the utility, but I did that already with getting Zach Edey, so I covered my base with that. We get a utility player that can do point guard and shooting guard. I got 2 guys that can do small forward and shooting guard, 2 solid point guards. So essentially, I can just really kind of just play with this last utility and these bench players. This is tough, too, because this is where you got to really try to use insight and try to round out your team. Because there's some dogs in here. Like, the people that you draft in these late rounds are the ones that actually go on to probably affect how far you make it in the playoffs or not, because sometimes it takes a while for these guys to boom. So it's like you're really just almost creating like a bond. And sometimes that bond can turn into $1 million in a fantasy ring. There's a lot of good shit still on the board here. You just got to sift through the bullshit and try to find out what's actually fucking good in here. But that's the fun of it, though, because I got my eyes on something here. Definitely got my eyes on something here. Really, really, really want it. Really, really hoping this falls. I literally got my fingers crossed in my shoes over here that this dude falls. I'm just staring at my key right now. Grayson Allen off the board. Jonathan Daly up the bat. We had Dante DiVincenzo, Clint Capella. Went to the Golden Gators. Amazing Rod, Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton. Grayson Allen right here. Jonathan Daly on the board. Uno minuto, dos segundo, Rod grab a Bruce Scalini. And Guardians, fair ball, baby, let's go. I just heard my shit go, That's never a good sign. Who went? All right. Trace Jackson Davis, that's somebody in my key I don't mind going. Because I'd rather get the other guy. 1-0, Cleveland Guardians, 2 outs, bottom of the second. Guy on second, let's go. Chris LeBert. Utility and 4 bench, so essentially we almost got a couple rounds left to go. Can't wait to see what you guys draft as well. I know for the football, some of you guys are sharing me some of your teams. And I remember at the time there was one of them I think I criticized as bad, and now it's probably a healthy team. You had like Diggs. I think you had, forget. I saw a couple different teams now. I'm trying to remember. I know there was a team, though, that had like Diggs, Garrett Wilson, guys that are like all still healthy. Which, not to talk football, but it's a damn shame what Aaron Rodgers did to Garrett Wilson. He should lose sleep at night over that. You had a young Devontae Adams sitting right there. And instead you went and got your old Packer buddy. Pretty soon I'm waiting to hear that Jordy Nelson signed with the Jets. See what we got here. Interesting baseball game and an even more interesting draft at the moment. And then I'm going to dial into the Guardians game. Reed Shepard still being on the board, I think, is fitting. I'd let him sit there for a while. I mean, if somebody wants to bite on him, go for it. But Houston rookie, those really haven't been panning out the greatest. I wouldn't even say Amen Thompson has panned out all like that. I think Scoot will have a better second year. Yeah, I know the other guys, Big J, Roland Joey, his fantasy football team went the hell in a handbasket. Scoot Henderson will have a good year. Now I realize who you were talking about, Scoot Henderson. There's one guy, though, I'm really hoping he falls. We're almost there. Maybe I shouldn't even take him yet. If I just got to trust that he would fall, though, is the only issue. That's tough to do. This Steven Castle is an interesting guy. Point guard going to San Antonio. Normally they do draft well. It's just I don't see him getting a lot of touches off the rip. That's the only thing with him. Jordan Poole in Washington's interesting. Do I go with who I want to just secure him, get him off the board? Yep. All right. Kelly Oubre Jr., welcome aboard to close out my utility. Now we got a Philadelphia 76er on the squad. 3 bench players. Now let's have some fun here. We got the rookie, Zachary Rishinar. That's interesting. rookie that's actually projected to start right off the rip. Stephon Castle, I don't think is projected to start right off the rip. Yeah, they're saying that he might be a point guard or a shooting guard, Stephon Castle. Well, not might be, but he might only be like a bench player. He might not get the starting minutes right off the rip. So I wouldn't jump the gun on him. Donovan Clingan, he is behind DeAndre, and I just stubbed my toe Ayton. So he'll probably get minutes right off the board more than projected. That dude, DeAndre Ayton, man, killing me. You're killing me. That man can look at somebody get hurt and somehow manage to also still just himself get hurt. Castle might be a good stash piece, though, if you believe in him, since we are drafting bench. I like to draft a strong bench, though. I don't typically like to draft in a way of like, oh, just wait to see what he does. So I'm going to go with the Atlanta Hawk rookie. As I said before, I like to get at least one rookie, but this year I'm going with two, like to see what they do. And plus now I got an Atlanta Hawk on the team. So I went with him, and I got Zach Edey. Got 4 centers, 4 power forwards, 4 small forwards, 3 point guards. So now I can start diving into the point guard realm with my last 2 picks, see who's going. Draymond Green to the Tribal Chief. Definitely want to be looking at a point guard right about now. I put an M on his head, and he better be Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart still projected to have the 5th most fantasy points on the team. We need to have more than that, brother. That don't work for me, dude. Hold on there. What do we got here to Indiana? Benedict Mathurin. Good on him. Jalen Smith in Chicago. Starting to get down into the bum territory. We got Khalil Ware, a new rookie center in Miami. See what he's capable of. Behind Bam Adebayo. He could share the floor, they're saying, with Bam Adebayo. So that might be something for fantasy owners of him to look into. We got this rookie that literally looks like Ron Weasley from the 4th Harry Potter movie. Dude looks pasty white. Don't know why anybody would draft him. Dude looks like he's never even held a basketball. Let's see what we got here. He looks like he should literally be serving ice cream at a Cold Stone. What is he doing on a basketball court, for goodness sakes? Andrew Wiggins to go with Steph Curry, maybe. Saying he might likely have restrictions. We don't like restrictions. Stephon Castle's still on the board. That doesn't shock me. I'm actually almost waiting to... Oh, they took him. Went with him, trusting him. Okay. Right now, I only got one guy in my key. Let's see who Jonathan Daly takes. Jalen Suggs still on the board. Point guard, shooting guard. Do I have an Orlando player? I don't know if I have an Orlando player. I do not have an Orlando player. That might be nice to spread out teams once again. Have one last cigarette as we close this out before we get into breaking down the teams. Yeah, stay tuned too to after the draft, because then we break down the teams and we like to project on here which way we think the season's going to go. Trey Murphy III. There's no way, by the way, we could have got the football one right. When I went back and watched that a week ago, We did not see that everybody would be hurt this year. There's no way we could have predicted that. Since I just said that, somebody went from being healthy to questionable. Alex Caruso. I'm already rookied out, so no more rookies for me. Okay. I'm going to go with my Orlando Magic boy. Point guard, shooting guard, Jalen Suggs. Let's go. Now his last pick can be literally anything. Literally anything. Love to see it. I'm unkeying everybody. I'm just looking at this thing. The cigarette is lit. All right, we got David Melton. We got the Miami center rookie still on the board. He's interesting to look at. Definitely something to look into. Cole Anthony, but I just got an Orlando Magic, so I'm good on that. That would make... Do I already have a Miami player? I thought I did. Yeah, I got Tyler Herro. Maybe. We got Scottie Pippen Jr. But with Ja good to go, that takes away his minutes. Grant Williams, Charlotte Hornet. They're so bad that they might not even be worth a fucking pick. We just struck out Judge. Marcus Smart really is honestly a great pick that's still up there. But I just don't know if I'm going to bite on that. We got Herbert Jones sitting there who's solid. Little wishy-washy, but in these rounds, you're not really looking for a consistent 30 points out of a guy fantasy-wise. I can't go 3 rookies. I just can't. I can't do it. Somebody stop me. I can't bite on any more rookies. Don't do it. Don't do it. Nick Richards, what a bum. Paul Reed on the Pistons? Maybe. Take a look at him. Wishy-washy minutes. Don't like the wishy-washy minutes. Not a fan. You know what? I'm ballsy. Let's roll dice. 3 rookies. Khalil Ware, let's do it. Let's roll dice. Let's be ballsy. Three guys with absolutely no idea what they're about to do. My heart's not beating onto my chest. Don't worry about it, okay? I'm all right. So let's see how the boys close it out. Gonna take a look at the board. Jordan Clarkson just went off the board. Kelly Olynyk. We're coming down to the final stretch. We're like down to 5-6 picks left. I can't count, but that says 6 picks left, including the one that we're on right now with the Golden Gators. So let's see who she takes. By the way, whoever invented the Stanley Cups, better than Elon Musk. Better than the Tesla. Invest in the Stanley Cup. Way better than a Tesla. My beer is cold for hours. I passed out. Fell asleep the other night for 2 hours. Woke up. Guess what? Beer's still ice cold. Craziest thing in the world. It's absurd. The science of that Stanley Cup needs to be studied more. Whoever created that could definitely make a card fly. That's all I'm saying. Scottie Pippen Jr. Okay. A.K.A. almost Future's brother-in-law. And Michael Jordan's son, brother-in-law, which would have been odd. Would have been an awkward wedding. Down to 5 picks left. We got the amazing Rod on the board. He took Andrew Wiggins. Ding Baby Swag took on Yekon Kagwu. Ben Baggs took Max Struss. Danathan Daly, Corey Kispert, and then who else went? Wendell Carter Jr. Okay, exit the draft, and then we will review these teams. Well, 2024 fantasy basketball draft is in the books. Let's start going through teams. Let's break down mine, starting with me. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Zach LaVine, Josh Hart, Evan Mobley, Karl Anthony Towns, Steph Curry, Jabari Smith Jr., Zach Edey, Tyler Herro, Kelly Oubre Jr. We got Zachary Richnar, Jalen Suggs, and Khalil Ware. So I got 3 rookies. I really like how my draft turned out and who I got. Obviously, with Shai and Cat, I think Cat's going to really ball out more than I think people are thinking. I think he's going to go over projection even. Getting Steph Curry where I got him. I mean, seeing him, Cat, and Shai on a team to me looks filthy. If Zach LaVine can keep the feet healthy, I think that's going to be amazing. Evan Mobley, Cleveland, got to rock with him. I think he's going to be great. I think Zach Edey's upside is absolutely to the moon and possibly through the stars in the galaxy. Zachary Richnar, interesting to see what's going to happen. And Khalil Ware, I think he's good enough to share the floor with Bam. I know they mentioned in there as well that he's also a good shooter. So I think it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I'm looking forward to that. Now I'm going to go take a look over at, let's see what Lil Kuzi Vert said real quick. It was a part of the draft. He wanted Ben Shiro or Sengden. Can't blame him for that. Now let's take a look at Danathan Daly's team. Where are we at? Same conference, okay. So we're going to kick it off. We're going to read top to bottom, starting with point guard. We got Darius Garland. Donovan Mitchell, he's keeping it in the land. Franz Wagner. Kawhi Leonard, he's rolling dice. Joel Embiid, absolute stud. Going to be potentially a top 5 fantasy star. Scoot Henderson, love that pick. Aaron Gordon, of course, always a great consistent pick. Bam Adebayo, we're going to see how Khalil Ware and him do together, but obviously Bam's their guy. Chet Holmgren, great pick for center. Naz Reid, going to definitely be interesting to see his uptick now with Cat gone. So that's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Rolling with Corey Kispert on the last pick, solid. Chris Paul, of course, you can't go wrong with CP3. And then you're rocking with a Stuart Thompson, rocking with one of the Thompson brothers. Could be very interesting to see how he pans out. Very excited to see how that goes. Then we got Zach Kozel. We got the Luka's Magic Made Me Cam. So let's see what we got here. We got Luka Doncic, Jalen Green, Paolo Banchero, Zion Williamson, Joseph Nurkic, CJ McCollum, Jalen Johnson, Walter Kessler, Jacob Poeltl. We got Devin Vassell, Brooke Lopez, Marcus Smart, and Jeremy Sochan. Solid squad. I know he had a really rough go last year to the point where he let his team just die. But this year he said he wanted to run it back and give himself a second chance. So here we go. Then we got a newcomer to the league, Mr. Tyler Bakes. We got Spiderland. See who he gets. Top to bottom, Hale Burton, Desmond Bain, Austin Reese, Trace Jackson Davis, Miles Turner, Ja Morant, hide your guns, Josh Giddey, Jamie Jacquees Jr., Damian Lillard, Fred VanVleet. We got Wendell Carter Jr. He went with the Stephon Castle experiment, rookie. And then Isaiah Hartenstein. So that'd be interesting to see how his team pans out. And over to the other newcomer to the league, we got Mr. Ben Baggs. Let's see what we got here. Top to bottom. Watch out. Check out the Earth's flat. Kyrie Irving, Mikal Bridges, LeBron James, Jalen Williams, Anthony Davis, Terry Rozier, Scary Terry, MPJ, Grayson Allen, Daniel Gafford, Tyus Jones, Michael Conley. Oh my goodness, how old's he? Keldon Johnson and Max Struss, keeping it in the land. Okay. Well, LeBron's going to be interesting because he's in year number 47 at this point of his career. But at the end of the day, still LeBron James, still a great pick. Can't go mad at it. Then you got, returning for a second year, Captain Ding. top to bottom. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeMar DeRozan, Jeremy Grant, Dante Sabonis, D'Angelo Russell, Chris Middleton, Jarrett Allen, Derek White, Mark Williams, OG Anunoby, Cameron Johnson, and Onyeka Okongwu. So far, that is a team that I'm not huge on. But there's some things there that I do like. DeMar DeRozan in Sacramento's one. Sabonis with him is good. That's a good handcuff to have. You got Ice Trae. You got Derek White. I'm not mad at it. Do think, though, that team is going to really need to boom, or it might just turn out to be a bust. Then we're going to go over to across the pond to the other conference. We're going to go to Motorcade, Team Riff. Let me wet the whistle real quick. Uno minuto. We got, top to bottom, De'Aaron Fox, Cade Cunningham, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, Noah Claxton, Brandon Miller, Kyle Kuzma, Jonathan Kuminga, Bobby Portis, Russell Westbrook, Jordan Clarkson, Malik Monk, and Shaedon Sharpe. Also not a team I'm big on, but you got Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Cade Cunningham. The top four looks great. It's everything after it that I'm just kind of like, good on it. So let's go staying across the pond here in the other conference. We got Stupid Fried Snooker. Had a rough go last year, looking to turn it around. We got Jrue Holiday, Bojan Bogdanovic, Scotty Barnes, Miles Bridges, Victor Wembanyama, Karis LeVert, Tobias Harris, Rudy Gobert, Alex Sengun, Jonas Valanciunas, Ayo Dosunmu, Herbert Jones, and Dennis Schroeder. I like it. It's definitely an older team. Definitely a team that you're going to hope can be durable and be sturdy, but not all those guys aren't really injury-prone guys. You still got your young guys with Scotty and Victor. I like it. He's running the Tobias experiment that I talked about earlier. You got Rudy Gobert now, who has no cat, so he's the one. I like it. I like it overall. Herbert Jones and Dennis Schroeder, but besides that, I like the rest of the team. Then we got 4 more left, including this one. We got the Tribal Chief, who had a really rough go last year as well, looking to turn it around. James Harden, Kobe White, Bradley Beal, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kristaps Porzingis, Jamal Murray, Kevin Durant, Malcolm Brogdon, Buddy Hield. He's running with the rookie Reed Shepherd, running with double rookies with Donovan Clingan. Then he's got Draymond, I just punched a guy in the nose just for fun, Green, and Kelly Olynyk. Draymond Green's also a massive dud. I wouldn't have went with Draymond at all, nor he even crossed my mind or even been on my radar. However, though, that starting lineup, top to bottom, I think you're going to have a much better year, Mishk, to give you the nickname on the cuff. But no, Team Booth, Tribal Chief, I think you're going to have a much better season this year with that group of guys. I think last year was just bad. Obviously, with football going on, sometimes you can forget a start because it runs all week. But overall, man, I think you should be looking at a really steady season. Definitely should go above 500. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't. Here goes the fantasy veteran, the amazing Rod, who's been doing it ever since its creation. Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, Louis Markkanen, Josh Jackson, Manuel Quickley, Amen Thompson, DeAndre Ayton, Dante DiVincenzo, Jalen Ivey, Andre Drummond. Then you got Braden Podziemski and Andrew Wiggins. There's a couple things on this team I don't like, but because he drafted him now makes me actually like him because I'm like, what did you see? I don't like DeAndre Ayton only because of the injury proneness, but at the end of the day, still think he can be great. Emmanuel Quickley, you got Jaylen Brown, who I really wanted. He stole that one from me, and he stole Devin Booker. I really like that team. It's going to be interesting to see how he pans out. I'm sure Rod will end up in the playoffs, as always. And another returning threat to the league, who's a veteran in this league, Golden Gators, the good homie. She drafted with top to bottom Jalen Brunson, Cam Thomas, Brandon Ingram, Pascal Siakam, Nikola Vucevic, Colin Sexton, Julius Randle, Clint Capella, John Collins, Klay Thompson, Scottie Pippen Jr., Zubac, and then already put Trey Murphy III on her IR and is now picking up somebody for her bench spot. I think she'll be definitely a threat again with this team. I know she always loves getting Siakam. I know every year I try to always get her off of him or get him off of her at some point. She went with Cam Thomas. Was that a fart? Yeah, I'm going to admit that was a fart. And that fart that he was talking about was Cam Thomas. But you got Jalen Brunson, Pascal Siakam, Julius Randle in Minnesota. I like it. Like it a lot. You got the veteran Clint Capella. You got Scottie Pippen Jr. Now to close out, we got the Pickleball Panel Paul Sharks, a.k.a. the Good Brother Koozies team. Top to bottom, one last time, LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Keegan Murray, Nikola Jokic with the first pick, Anfernee Simmons, RJ Barrett 50 Cal, Denny Avdija, Jalen Duren, Jordan Poole, Derek Lively II. We got Benedict Mathurin and PJ Washington. I think that'll be overall a solid team. I like Simmons. I like Jokic, Keegan Murray, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey. Jordan Poole, I think, will do better than he did last year. I think something just went wrong. But overall, though, I do think that's a solid team. If I were to predict now, I mean, obviously, I'd like to put myself up there. Danathan Daly, as always, with a great team. Ever since fantasy basketball, you joined in this league. You've been a threat as well. Always a contender. I really like Tribal Chiefs team. And that was an auto picker. Golden Gators, I think, is a real solid team. There's a lot of solid teams in here. It's going to be really interesting to see how this league pans out. Really, really interested to see how this league pans out. But with that being said, Danathan Daly, Jr. III, thank you for joining us tonight on this 2024 Fantasy Basketball Draft. Thank you for joining me virtually through the hot seat. I can feel the energy at least a little bit through here. I know I'll feel it all the way, though, when we reunite in the Thunderdome live and in color. But with that being said, thank you to everybody for being tuned in. Once again, hit that like, hit that comment, hit that bell, all those things that grow us together. And thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. Let me know your picks. Follow me on socials. You know where to find me. Your captain speaking. See you tomorrow. All aboard the Sleepless Ark. Peace. Wake up with a smile on. Remind yourselves of 3 things you're grateful for.